3. Hello, everybody. Oh, fuck.
No, we can cut it. It's fine. Just keep going.
Ready? 3. Okay, we're gonna do the clink thing. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Tea Time Podcast. I'm your host, John T. I'm here with Gilad, the second host, and we're here today for another episode of Tea Time. Gilad, how are you today?
Wow, that is unmatched energy from the John C. Yeah, I'm brilliant. That's really lifted my spirits.
Oh,
that's
wow,
lifted my energy.
It's been a good weekend, hasn't it?
I mean, I've had a great weekend, but that has just made it an excellent one. How has your weekend been,
It was good. Obviously, the best part of my weekend is right now filming the Tea Time Podcast.
Filming the Tea Time.
That is the highlight of my weekend.
Wow.
That is the only light of my weekend. So,
that was quite a serious, quite an energetic intro. And today is our last episode of Tea Time before the 2022-2023 season.
Exactly.
So we've got an interesting episode coming up full of predictions, table predictions, award predictions, some hot takes from the fans, maybe from one of us as well. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yes,
Today I'm drinking, what are we drinking? We're drinking the same tea.
Yeah, we are drinking the same tea. It's a matching day for us. And it's called the cocoa and coconut. Cocoa and coconut tea today.
Cocoa and coconut.
Yes. So it's actually pretty tasty. It kind of tastes a little bit like chocolate.
Never in my life have I had this before. So this
I
is
had
first time.
it first time 3 years ago.
Wow. We've got quite cool mugs today. I've got a Superman mug. If you, on the video, you might be able to see Aviv's got a Captain Harold Holt from
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Shout out to Toby Shirt.
Dibsy, we love you. In the intro I spilled a bit of my tea. But we've got quite an action-packed episode, and because the fans on the Tea Time Instagram, Tea Time __ podcast.
2 underscores 1 podcast.
2 underscores 1 podcast. Love to give a little bit of feedback. They say that decrease the episode length. So we're going to do our best to do that.
Yeah.
And we're going to get straight into some hot takes from the fans. Some hand-picked ones. First one comes from Eden. LFC will drop off pretty season AF, which is quite interesting considering he is a Liverpool fan himself.
Didn't you guys? No. Yes, they just beat Man City 3-1.
As of the time of recording, we're recording the day after the Community Shield, and they beat City 3-1.
So obviously, early days. Community Shield, in my opinion, is not as it's not a big controversial hot take for myself here, it's not a major trophy, in my opinion.
No, I think that's fair.
It's not something which clubs will play their first team for. Obviously, we saw a bit of rotation from both Arsenal and Man City not playing their first full team squads.
Liverpool.
Sorry, I said Arsenal.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure.
It was Liverpool.
But I'm pretty sure both teams played.
No, I know Nathan Ake played. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but that's because Stones is out. Not Stones. Laporte is injured.
In my opinion, Stone starts over Ake.
The lineups were Liverpool played Adrian, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago, Mo Salah, Bobby, and Diaz. And that's pretty much a full starting 11 except for Alisson, but he's injured.
Yeah.
And then City played. Well, they've got so much depth; it's hard to know what is their best strength. But they've got Edison, Ake, Diaz, Cancelo, Walker, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Haaland, Grealish. So maybe other than Ake.
Maybe.
They played.
That was a shit call by John T.
No, I don't think it's that bad a call.
But yeah, also I feel like it hasn't got that, the raw tenacity that the other competitions in the league has.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's quite interesting if the players themselves are passionate about it. I wonder. I personally disagree with Eden's call. We'll see later in our table predictions, but I've got Liverpool finishing quite high.
I think now more than ever. I think now they can actually. There's more of a chance that they can win than last year, the Premier League. Yes, they have the City of Haaland, but City also have lost Gabriel Jesus to Arsenal. Obviously, a good rotation play. Obviously, when City have that depth,
they do. That is where their specialists lies.
Nunez could be critical to Liverpool winning the league. He could be really influential. So we don't know. Obviously, losing Mane is a huge loss to to Liverpool. But
Yeah.
like, I do think that Liverpool can still win the league.
Yeah, fair
You'll
enough.
find out in our predictions.
Yeah, you'll find out in our predictions
Yeah.
very shortly. Second one comes for Corey. Haaland might be the most important transfer in a long time. Brackets, if he stays there his whole career. Now, I understand where he's coming from. However, I've got a big however. Would City, if they could not have gotten Haaland, just gone out and gotten a different striker, if that makes sense, and still been able to perform at such a high level? I agree that he's going to be huge. I severely doubt that he'll score less than 15 goals in the Premier League season, and he'll just get better. In terms of most important transfer in a long time, maybe. I think another important transfer, you got your Bruno Guimaraes. I think that's quite an important transfer. That's the revolution of Newcastle, I guess you could say. De Bruyne as well, maybe.
We have an underrated Zinchenko to Arsenal in that left back position, which has been a problem for you guys.
I don't know about most important.
I want to say most
in a long
important.
time.
It's a really big transfer. A very underrated transfer.
Fair enough. On to the next one. Unless you got anything comments on that.
I think Man City have also gone for Kane and other players in the past.
Yeah.
Also wanted to say that Eden's comment, just wanted to finish up with one thing, is that Liverpool and Man City are still so clear of the rest of
They are still so clear of the rest of the Premier League.
So when we say they're going to dip, they're not going to be close at all, like, I don't think we understand how far they have to dip in order for actually Chelsea or Arsenal or like Man U. I'm not saying Spurs because Spurs might make Spurs are shit.
Wow.
To overtake them, they're like a whole light year ahead of us. So I think
Fair enough.
It's going to be.
That's some severe disrespect to Tottenham. But moving on, OJ, Chelsea are being overlooked and can definitely make a title challenge. Now, I would agree that in light of Chelsea's subpar pre-season, although they did beat Udinese in a friendly and a training game, 2 separate games, they have been maybe not overlooked, but they have been disrespected a little bit. People questioning their status in the top 4. I don't think they can make a title challenge. But I do agree that they might be a little bit disrespected, but I think that there are many problems in that club right now, and I'll address them later on.
Yeah, well, I'm going to slap a shit call on that hot take.
Wow.
A
As
shit call.
a Chelsea
As
fan...
a Chelsea fan, it's a shit call. You've got to be realistic, to be honest. You can't be like in this kind of fairy tale world of, we're going to win the league. There's a chance we can win the league. We're not even close to winning the league. We don't have a striker at the moment.
Yeah.
We don't even have a striker.
Kai Havertz?
Kai Havertz, but he's not a striker. He's not an actual striker. He's never played in that striker role before. We're missing two centre backs. We've signed Koulibaly.
We've got Koulibaly and Thiago Silva.
Thiago Silva maybe has 1 year actually left, I'd say, of soccer.
Yeah.
Before he's gone. We've got an aging squad. Well, we've got some very young players, but also we've got some very young players who aren't experienced and don't have that talent.
Yeah.
We have an aging squad of the good days, and the glory days. Obviously, most players are gone, but we have an aging squad from that 2015 era, 2014, so like Thiago Silva, like things like PSG.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think there's no way we make title.
All right.
I think even third right now is going to be a challenge for us. I think top 4 will be a challenge for us this year,
Yeah.
unless we make 2 signings.
Okay, we'll reveal exactly where we put Chelsea very, very shortly. In direct contrast to that, you've got Aiden, who a fellow Arsenal fan of mine. Chelsea won't make top 4. Again, we'll let you know where we place Chelsea later on.
It's going to be a challenge. I think top 4 will be very close this year.
Interesting. Yeah, lovely. And next one, second last prediction, hot take from the fans. You've got Mindle, our man Daniel Mindle, with Southampton will go down. Let's not comment on that one just yet.
I think that's a hot take of the app.
We will. Hot take of the app for you?
Who won question of the app last week?
I don't think we gave it.
I don't think we gave it.
We might have choked it.
But I think we forgot.
Yeah.
But that wins my hot take of the app.
Okay, interesting. I will reveal
the
last one. And the last one comes from our co-host, John T. Very interesting. Fulham to stay up. Now, when we released this on the Instagram, we did expect this to be hot takes from the fans. But John T, you'll get your opportunity to explain your reasoning shortly, very shortly.
Do you realize Well, actually, I'll explain it later. I'm not going to say it.
Okay. Before we move on to our next segment, I just wanted to say that this is the second week in a row where I'm not enjoying my tea.
Really?
I'm quite disappointed.
Really?
Now, I am a fan of the fruit teas. This is some sort of weird mix, chocolate in a tea. Why did I even trust this to begin with?
Second week in a row.
Last week I had some weird ginger and lemon thing.
Oh. Bro, you got to try a new penalty as well. We've got another one.
Well, I'm not happy, but
it's a stinker. Is it a stinker?
It is a stinker.
Stinker certified. It's a
certified stinker. Nice. All right, let's move on to our first predictions.
Yes.
Aside from Aviv's hot take. Let's move on.
I start one and then you start the next prediction.
No, let's quickly go. Let's go over our top goal scorer, our player of the season, and our young player of the season.
Alright, let me look at my dog. Here we are.
All right.
Okay.
So let's start. I'll go first for top goal scorer.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. I think there's a short list of players,
yes.
but I think that you have to go with. I think this person will equal Thierry Henry's record for 4 Golden Boots in the Premier League. I think it will be Mohamed Salah for top goal scorer because that is Darwin Núñez's first year in the league. We know that Portuguese players coming from the Portuguese league tend to do well. However, it is this first season and he will have to acclimatise to the league. It is Diaz's first full season in the Premier League, and while he is great,
full season? I think it was half a season.
Yeah, this is his first full season.
Okay, yeah.
And whilst he is great, I think he might, struggle a little bit in consistency wise. Whereas once he gets that consistent game time, he'll get better. Jota is a little bit not injury prone, but he gets injured every now and then.
Yeah.
I think in order for Liverpool to stay in that title race, I think Mo Salah is going to have a massive year and expect him to score 30 plus goals this season.
You don't think Salah will maybe try to acclimatise to a more supporting role to get Núñez more involved? You don't think that?
I think
he's a very physical striker.
I think that
Núñez.
That there is not a lack of goals because Liverpool create so many goals, but I think that there could be games where Darwin is being maybe outbodied by some players.
Like a Ruben Dias
you're playing.
Ruben Dias would close Darwin down.
Yeah, you're playing against Man City. Darwin is struggling a little bit. Kyle Walker's playing well. Luis Diaz. Mo Salah is the one to. I really think Mo Salah will have top goal scorer. Yeah. Who's your top goal scorer?
Well, I predicted Mo Salah. He dipped the last half of the season.
Yeah, he did.
So I think we've seen that he can score goals, but about him keeping it up, it's tough.
He has won 3 Golden Boots.
He has won 3 Golden Boots. True, but the goals he scored in the first half of the season compared to the second half was outrageous in my opinion. Like the difference was pretty big.
Yeah.
So, I've gone Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
For Golden Boot. Man City, they create so many chances like Liverpool, and Haaland is their main man up top. Now he's, they had Aguero and he was their main striker, and now Erling Haaland is going to play as like a target man.
For sure.
He's big. He's fast. Haaland can take on most defenders. He will. I think the only real defender that I see that will be able to pocket Haaland is either Van Dijk, potentially Koulibaly as well. Maybe well against Haaland. Apart from that, I don't really see the likes of Eric Dyer, Romero, Rob Holding, Ben White, Tommy Avivush. I don't see them pocketing Haaland.
I feel like some of those players might not even play on him.
True.
I completely understand.
Ben White and who's the other centre back? I forgot the other centre back.
Well, it's looking like right now Ben White's going to start it right back for the season.
Oh, yeah, true.
We'll have Saliba and Gabriel.
I forgot Gabriel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think. Potentially Saliba, but Saliba, I don't think he has the physicality that Haaland does.
Okay.
So I think Haaland will be top scorer. And I'm going to start also my player of the season, which segues nicely to also can be Erling Haaland.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is huge.
I was thinking between KDB and Salah.
You know what's crazy?
What?
We have both gone for the same player to get Golden Boots, to get player of the season. I've also gone for Mo Salah. And my reasoning for that choice, again, is because I genuinely do believe that Liverpool will stay in that title race because of Mo Salah. And not to say that they aren't good enough without his contribution.
Yep.
However, I think that they'll be neck and neck because of him. And maybe they'll come first. You'll see in my prediction. Let's move on to young player of the season. I think we're both in agreement on this one.
Yes, I think as well. Well, you can go first.
Yeah. Oh, it's the same person.
Yes, I think.
Yeah, we've both gone for Bukayo Saka.
Yeah.
Now, looking at your nominees from last season, if you hear some background noise, someone might have died and they're going out. Okay, let's retake the vote.
They're playing upstairs. They're playing FIFA. So
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I think Bukayo Saka is going to win the Player of the Season. If you look at as of 2021, they changed it. You have to be under 21 years old to be eligible, meaning there's no Trent, no Foden, no Haaland.
He's 24, I think now. So
Yeah,
he's
sure.
eligible. But Haaland is now out, and
no Reece James, no Pedro Neto. I think realistically, the players that are up there, you could maybe say Martinelli, maybe Tino Livramento.
Is Solanke young? How old is Solanke?
He's not young. There's no
I think he's
way
like 20. He's
young.
like 25 or 24. But
Dominic Solanke is 24.
24.
So he's
yeah.
youngish, but I do think that Bukayo Saka could have arguably won it last season. Arguably one of
yeah,
last
I think
season.
maybe it may potential. Okay, not really related. Actually, it is related.
Okay.
But I think if Arsenal had obviously made Champions League, probably
Then he could have won it. No, that is related, yeah. I think that there isn't anyone that will compete with him unless there's a breakout season.
For like Nkunku had this year.
I think players that are even close slightly, you've got Michael Olise, but he's not at the level of Bukayo Saka, not playing for a potential top 4 team. So Bukayo Saka will only get better with the increased squad. Arsenal
best
squad.
young player below 21 in the Premier League right now.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about that.
And I do think he could potentially become better than Phil Foden. I think he would do. I think he has potential to be better than Phil Foden. I don't agree that he's better than Foden right now. I think Foden is better at the moment.
Okay.
I think Saka can do better.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, and
he's your new he's like your.
He's our star boy. He is like a god.
You will build a team around him for the next. If you can keep him for the next 10 years, you will build a team around him.
No doubt, he is a god at Arsenal. Everyone loves him.
I mean, it would have been good if you still had Arsene Wenger. He would really know what to do with Bukayo Saka, in my opinion.
Maybe
he'd probably know how to discipline him, and he's already
I think Saka's actually quite mature for a player that's only 20 years old. Not many disciplinary issues in terms of red cards. Outside of the club, doesn't have issues. He doesn't have, you've got your players that have young potential, like Foden. He's had his issues in the past. Mason Greenwood, obviously. I think Saka's quite a disciplined character, and I think he's quite mature, and I think he's okay.
How old is Dan James?
Dan James?
Or Mason Greenwood? Well, he's not the anymore. Doesn't matter. But I would have.
Dan James.
I think 23.
Dan James is 24.
Oh, he's 24. Doesn't look like it. It looks a bit younger.
He does have a bit of a baby face.
Yeah.
The baby face. Could give him a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
From Dan James. But,
or another place, but
wow. We love Dan James.
Yeah, on the nose.
On the nose. Yeah. Fair enough. So that's our predictions for the awards. Now the big. This is the big. The big boys.
And let's start from the bottom.
This is what the big boys want.
Because you got to work your way up.
You got to work your way up. This is the biggest part of the episode, and starting off with
first for 20th.
20th place, I have gone with Bournemouth Football Club. As we said in our previous episode, they haven't strengthened that much. They did just sign someone, I believe. Who did they just sign? Sorry for the delay. They just signed someone, I believe. Oh, they signed Middlesbrough's Marcus Tavernier. He's a right back, which is quite interesting.
Mid-signing.
Is he a right back or is he central midfield? I think he might be the Tavernier that is central midfield.
Is he related to the one at Rangers?
Yes. They are siblings. He is a central midfielder, which is interesting. But I think that it's a good signing for a promoted team. Is he Premier League quality? I don't think so. Like we said in our transfer, I don't think there's much to debate here. I think who do you have in 20th?
Bournemouth as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to say. Bournemouth, 20th. Yeah, no doubt about that for me.
Unless Solanke can really pick up the
Yeah.
cards and really score some goals.
But I think it's tough to put it all on one guy, especially in his first season in the Premier League. Not ever, but in a while, being that main striker. 19th, who do you have, John T?
This is contradictory to my hot take, but I've gone Fulham for 19.
How do you? Why?
Because I was thinking about it, I was like, nah, they're all staying up. I gave it like a little squad. They just lost Carvalho.
Yeah, but they've strengthened a lot.
Fulham are going down.
Interesting.
They've come up before. Everyone always says Mitchell is going to be huge. He's going to be amazing. He always gets player of the season in the championship. Just scored 42 goals.
He did score
But
many goals.
he never delivers in the Prem. He's been in the
Maybe.
Prem for like 4 or 5 years
True.
now. But he never delivers.
Not 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
He's
3
been in the
years.
Prem a few years, yeah.
3 years.
He was in a Newcastle. Used to play for Newcastle. I feel like this is the first time that like he's with a replenished squad. Maybe I also have them relegated. I don't have them 19th. I have them 18th.
You have 19.
I have Southampton in 19th.
Oh, wow.
But in terms of Fulham, I worry defensively about them.
Yeah, exactly.
I worry defensively about them. Their centre backs are very worrying. They give me, Grant Hanley, Norwich vibes. And
Hanley wasn't terrible.
Yeah, but like he is if that is your best level of player, then
I think Hanley potentially could have been Premier League quality for maybe.
No chance.
Maybe I could see Hanley the Saints.
He actually just got a red card in Norwich's first game of the season and they lost. Anyway, unrelated. But yeah, I worry, and I also question Andrea Pereira being your number 10 in the Premier League. He hasn't been able to do it in the Premier League ever. But Fulham, 18th for me. 19th for me, I've got Southampton. I question their Premier... I don't know if their squad is Premier League quality.
No.
I think other than a number of players, maybe James Ward-Prowse, Che Adams, Salisu, Bednarek...
Yeah, Walker.
No, he's not Premier League quality. I don't think that other than those 4 players, maybe Kyle Walker-Peters as well. Livramento, but he's injured until the 1st of January. So, you've got 5 Premier League quality players, in my opinion. They've strengthened, but not a lot of young players, aside from Joe Ariba, who's an interesting signing. 19th for me.
Roger's now gone as well.
Yeah, in agreement with Daniel's earlier hot take. 19th place finished for Southampton for me.
18th for me.
Nice. Moving on to
17. I've gone the Tricky Trees.
Okay.
They're staying up. I have so much faith in Tricky Trees, even though what's the name on 538 predicted them to go down last.
On 538. The statistics website.
They think Tricky Trees will come last.
Nice. I've gone for Brentford. I've actually got Nottingham Forest a bit further up, but Brentford I worry about.
Depth.
Maybe depth. I worry about the creativity. It'll be interesting to see if they go to a 4-back, start playing Wissa and Mbuemo and Tony, or maybe instead of Wissa, who they just signed? Lewis Potter, Tony and Mbuemo. I worry about them though. I do worry.
Let's not forget last year they had Alvarez in goal.
Who?
I think it was Alvarez.
Oh, yeah, true. But they have lost Ericsson, which is a big loss.
Yeah, as well. I've put Brentford at 16 myself.
Okay, nice.
Who have you put at 16?
16th, I've gone for Leeds.
Oh, really?
Leeds, I don't think are that good quality. They're good in, I don't know if there's much to say. You lose your 2 best players. They strengthened elsewhere. I think the Premier League is just so class this year. I think there's so many good teams that Leeds are 16th. And if I'm being truly honest, I worry that I think Leeds and Brentford are in danger of relegation. I think everyone above them are not. For me.
Really?
Oh, for me. How about you? Who have you got in, that was 16th,
That was
right?
16th. So 15th, I've
15th.
got Everton.
I've got Everton as well in 15th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not made some crucial signings.
A couple
Need to get
interesting
rid-
ones. Dwight McNeil.
Terrible signing.
Yeah, I
He's just
wonder.
been relegated. You don't want to sign people that have been relegated unless obviously they're clearly
Well,
showing quality.
Well, where is he going to play? Because surely they would prefer Damari Gray and Gordon to play on the wings.
Maybe like a cam role or like a midfield role.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Maybe they're trying to sell.
They're not trying to sell them. Maybe for depth. Maybe they go to a 5-back and he plays as a left wing back. But he's got that connection with Tarkovsky.
Yeah, that's useful.
Yeah. All right. On to 15th. So now 14th. I've gone for Brighton.
Same.
Wow. Great minds think alike. Now, if I'm being honest, initially I had Brighton in the relegation zone.
Relegation?
I severely, and in the past, previous episode, well, one of my reasoning for it was the terrible transfer window. Losing Basuma, and as of the previous episode, Kukurea has handed in a transfer request. So it's looking likely that he will leave. Not really strengthening. However, I have severely underrated their squad. I think in midfield, they've got a very strong midfield. Very strong. I think they've got a strong midfield. Mwepu and Caicedo will replace Basuma, in my opinion, both of them. You've still got depth in Lallana, Pascal Gross. McAllister's looking like he's going to have a decent season. Trossard is a decent player. I think they're okay. I've gone for 14th. Is it 14th? Yeah.
I personally think Trossard is too good for that Brighton team.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
I think he'd have to find a move.
I wouldn't be surprised if he made it to a top 8 club soon.
Like, I think he'd soon have to either like Villa, or like he could be a good fit for Newcastle, trying to move up on the table.
Yeah.
Anyways, 13th I went Leeds.
Leeds? Okay. That's quite high for me. But
Who'd you go for 13th?
I've gone for Nottingham Forest, which is actually quite interesting because you got them quite low.
Yeah, I think our Leeds and Nottingham Forest switched. Maybe like a little 1 or 2 difference, but
Oh well, yeah, ish. I think Nottingham Forest will be good. I think maybe you could argue too many chefs spoiled broth. So many new players coming in could be a bit questionable. However,
spent about 100 million, I think.
Yeah, spent a lot of money.
It's a lot of money spent.
However, I think that they have got a good manager. Steve Cooper's a great manager.
Yeah.
They've got a good style that fits a newly promoted team. They play on the counter-attack 5-2-1-2. So defensively, they'll be solid. I worry a little bit about where the goals will come, but I do think that they'll be very defensively strong.
I agree. Well, I've gone Leeds just because I think Leeds made some good signings. They've signed Rafinha and Calvin. I think it was 100 million total, a bit more maybe.
Yeah, I think it was exactly 100 actually.
No, for Rafinha.
Rafinha was 55 and Calvin was 45 or something like that.
So they bought Sinistera, they brought in Anderson, they brought in, what's his name, in the middle?
Adams?
No, another one.
Rocker.
Rocker, Adams, and one more. Blonde guy.
Blonde guy. They brought in Christensen for right back. He's a right back.
And Aronson, Christensen, Aronson. I think they made a bunch of good. Like Jesse Marsh really cares about this team. I watched a recent interview where he's talking about Rafinha. They got 3 times the amount of money for Rafinha than they would have got if they got relegated.
Really? Is that what he said? Wow. That's very interesting.
But yeah, I think Jesse Marsh is a great manager to take Leeds forward.
Yeah, for sure. Fair enough.
I mean, yeah, I think 12th I've gone Crystal Palace.
12th you've gone Crystal Palace. I've gone for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves.
Okay.
Any reasoning for Crystal Palace at 12, or you just think mid-table team? Yeah. Wolves, pretty similar ideology for me. I think that they will do okay. A lot of young guns coming back in the team, Pedro Neto. But I just don't think that they're strong enough in attack. In midfield, Ruben Neves is great, but Moutinho's getting older. Dendoncker maybe replaces him. I think Wolverhampton are quite average, and I don't think they'll be as good defensively as they were last season. Into next spot. 11,
Wolves,
and I've gone Crystal Palace. So just a quick swap.
Yeah,
nothing really to say there. I'd say about Wolves and Crystal Palace.
You're average. I think Wolves definitely slump in the end of the season. So they came 9th this season.
No, they finished 10th.
10th.
Because I believe that Brighton finished.
For Brighton were 8th.
No, not 8th. No way. Let's see. That is not the table that I wanted. No, Brighton finished 9th. I'm certain about that. Yeah, Wolverhampton Wanderers came 10th. Brighton came 9th.
I think we're going to slip a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. All right, into 10th now. Who've you got?
I went first. You go.
Okay, in 10th, I've got Aston Villa.
Really?
I think they're good. However, I wonder if Steven Gerrard knows his best team. I wonder if he knows how he wants to play. You know, you've got so many players that could fit in. You've got 2 quality strikers, Danny Ings, Watkins. You can play both of them. You've got Coutinho. Well. You've got Buendia. You've got Jacob Ramsey, who plays a bit deeper, but is still quite good. You've got Leon Bailey. You just got a lot of players in that squad.
Hasn't really played for.
Exactly, but in preseason, in preseason, it's been great. And I don't know if he knows his best team. And I think they're good. And that's why I've given them a top half finish. But I think the rest of the team's just so good that
really?
I can't put them above the rest.
I've gone Leicester at 10th.
Leicester at 10th. How come?
I just don't see them picking up. I don't see them picking up form. Their players are getting old. In terms of Vardy's now not in his 2015-16.
He has scored goals though. Jamie Vardy has scored more than 15 goals in the last 6 seasons, I believe.
I don't see him doing it this year.
Really?
No. I don't see him.
He scored 13 or more goals in the last 7 seasons. And he is getting older. He is 35 years old now.
Yeah, exactly. He's an old guy.
He is old.
He's only 2 years younger than Ronaldo.
Yeah.
3 years younger, whatever. He really is not the same player that he was when they won the title.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think also with the lack of defensively, they weren't great this season.
That's true.
They also up front, we saw, I think it was
Daka and Iheanacho.
Daka and Iheanacho. Daka's very young. Has a lot of. He has the time. Iheanacho.
A bit average.
Fairly average.
Yeah. Well, they were the worst defensive team from set pieces. I know that.
Defensively, I don't rate those.
But they do bring in Wesley Fofana back from an injury.
True, but
that's like a new signing.
Tielemans may leave.
And
if Tielemans leaves, definitely gives him no chance of making it back into Europa League if they want.
Fair enough. I've got them a little higher, but
yeah. Who have you got 10th?
In 10th I've got Aston Villa, but 9th I've got Newcastle.
Interesting.
Newcastle, I think they're good. I think they're great. I think that 9th is realistic. I think 8th is their ceiling. I don't think they finish higher than 8th. But yeah, I've got them in 9th.
I've got West Ham for 9th.
Wow.
I've got West Ham.
In 9th. Okay, how come?
I don't see West Ham doing as well as last year.
Not even with the new striker, Skamaka. I guess they do have a bad streak of signing strikers, you know.
Mikel Antonio really was only there for the first 6-7
weeks. They don't have a great record of signing strikers. They signed that Arsenal striker who came to play for Arsenal. I forgot his name. Lucas Perez. He played for West Ham for a little bit.
Retired,
was a bit shit. Yeah, fair.
Didn't they just lose on it?
But they're so great, West Ham. They got a great system.
I don't think they're doing as well as last season, to be honest.
Okay.
I think with Man United doing pretty bad with the top,
that made them look better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Man United will be better this season.
Okay.
And who you went 9th? You went to Newcastle. I went 8th Newcastle.
8th Newcastle, yeah.
Who have you gone for
8th? 8th, I've gone for Leicester. I think that they had a down season last season.
Really?
I think that I actually have a little bit of a hot take. Maybe it's not that hot, but I think Brendan Rodgers will be the first manager to go. I think Brendan Rodgers, Leicester will start off the season quite poorly. I think he'll go maybe a little bit before the World Cup break. And I think that after the World Cup break, which is about halfway through the season, Leicester will play insane. I think they'll play very well with a new manager, new system.
Who could we see in that United spot?
That's a good question. I was actually thinking about that in my head. Who could be that manager? Someone like Mauricio Pochettino. I would not be. I would not be surprised if he went to Leicester. Bit of a downgrade, from Tottenham. PSG. But a bit of a downgrade from PSG. But I wouldn't be surprised if you see.
PSG didn't suit him.
I won't. You know what? I'm calling it now on the Tea Time podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Mauricio Pochettino will be the manager of Leicester season at the end of the 2022-2023 season.
You heard it here first, folks.
That's my prediction. Hot prediction. I think he could really make the most of that team. And I think they've got good quality.
All right, so I think it's an interesting take. 7th, just missing out on Europe.
Just missing out, yeah.
Because 6th now Conference
No,
League.
the Conference League.
7th Conference League, that's what 7th was.
7th is Conference
Oh,
League.
sorry.
Yeah. 7th is Conference League.
7th making Europe.
Is? You be honest?
I thought it was your go. My God. My bad. For me, it's Villa.
Okay, Aston Villa.
For me, it's Aston Villa. I think they have the quality. I have faith in Gerrard. One of my favourite players to watch of all time. Obviously I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I really respect him for having that loyalty to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I think I can see it as well, him with Villa. I think he's also...
making the most of that team. Nice.
He's very passionate. I think it's his first really major Premier League job.
Yeah, well, it is his first major Premier League job.
Yeah, so he was at LA Galaxy, I think, was he managing?
That's not a Premier League job.
No,
He was a manager of Rangers.
Rangers, that wasn't LA Galaxy. I don't know why I said LA Galaxy.
What?
I don't know why I said LA Galaxy.
What did you just say?
I said LA Galaxy for a reason.
Okay, fair enough.
He played at LA Galaxy.
Yes.
Didn't manage them.
No.
Don't know why I thought he did.
No.
But I've gone Villa for 7th, and I think they can pick up the form. I think Felipe Coutinho, this is his year. He's gonna have a wonder year.
Interesting. Fun stat, he got 8 goal contributions last year, but they were only in 5 games, and he played 18 games. So maybe that's
He was in my fantasy.
a little bit of inconsistency from Philip Coutinho. In 7th, I've gone for West Ham. I cannot believe that you've got them in 9th. You know, West Ham, home stadium, they get points at home. Their home stadium crowd energy environment is electric. They've increased their squad. They've no longer got Craig Dawson. They got a Gued at centre back. Mm-hmm. You got Kurt Zuma. Although he's a cat kicker, he is a quality Premier League player. They've increased their strike force. They've brought in Skamaka, who hopefully isn't a flop and hopefully can let Antonio rest a little bit. I think that they've got a great season incoming. 7th. I think that they'll stay in that. I think they're now that 7th best team in the league. I think they've overtaken, because I think for a while Leicester was like that 7th best team. I think they've overtaken Leicester. Mm-hmm. I think Leicester can get back there in the future, but right now Jamie Vardy's getting a bit old. You're seeing players leave. Kasper Schmeichel's getting old. Kasper Schmeichel is Leicester.
He's been having Jamie Vardy's been having too many parties.
Yeah, and I think they will overtake Leicester as the 7th best team.
We're running a bit long for time, but we're going to go.
No, we're okay. We're 6th.
6th. Okay, you go first. I went first for the 7th.
I've got Chelsea. Chelsea Football Club in 6th place.
Chelsea.
Now,
that hurts me now.
give me my reason. I'll tell you your reasoning. All right. So, no striker. Kai Havertz up top. That's fine, but I don't think that is top 4 quality. If you're looking at the strikers,
Also, he is injured. It's
the strikers of the team above. Yeah, the strikers of the teams above. You've got Ronaldo, Gabriel Jesus, who is better than Kai Havertz. Haaland,
it's a hot take.
Harry Kane. Anyone from Liverpool can play striker in that rotation. Mm-hmm. That's one reasoning. Second reasoning, aging midfield. Kante hasn't played more than, I think it's 2,000 minutes in the Premier League for a long time. Kante is older. He is now 31. Jorginho is 30. Kovacic is good, but I don't know who can partner him in that midfield. Kante hasn't played more than 30 games for 3 years.
We have Conor Gallagher.
Maybe, but I don't think he'll be as effective in that deeper role.
Yeah. He was very good at Crystal Palace.
He was, but his presence is being that guy that presses from the front. Okay. And then last point is, I think that defensively, I'm worried about Chelsea. You're relying on a 37-year-old and a 31-year-old Koulibaly, who is a great player on his day. However,
been in the Serie A, has never experienced what the Premier League is.
Yes, and also hasn't played more than 27 games in the last 3 seasons. So a little bit of lack of game time.
Yeah. And injury prone as well.
A little bit injury prone. I'm worried about Chelsea's defense, and that's why I've got them 6th.
Okay, I went Spurs at 6th.
Wow.
Mainly because I had Chelsea as an optimistic.
But that's bias.
Okay, it was biased. But I hate Spurs.
Wow. Yeah, fair enough.
and I just don't. Okay, I was Spurs at 6th.
Okay, 5th place.
I have nothing to say. I just don't want to put Chelsea outside of Europe.
A little bit of bias there.
It doesn't look right, you know.
A little bit of bias
It's
there.
not natural. Even though I have been vocal on the Big Detail podcast about us being shit this year.
You have been, and you did.
I'm gonna actually rearrange it because I'm not happy with when I made this.
Okay. Well, we'll release the
my actual
confirmed.
6th. I will now put 6th. I'm actually gonna put Man United as 6th.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna put Man United as 6th.
I've got them at 5th.
I would put Chelsea at 5th.
You put Chelsea in 5th.
But yeah, Man United. Yeah, Ronaldo's now older. He's probably not gonna do as well as he did last season.
Maybe.
I still watched him at pre-season.
When did he play preseason?
No, I watched Man United play pre-season.
Oh, Man United.
Such a shame to watch Man United, go from. I talk about this a lot.
You have a soft spot for Man United. Wow.
I do.
That's
interesting. I don't think they can do well this season. I don't think they will.
I agree.
And I think that's why Ronaldo wants to leave. He knows that he can't turn the team around. He can't. He knows.
I think that they'll have a transition season this year. I think that you will go from learning how to play under Ten Hag, who is a quality manager, giving your young guys, Elanga, Sancho, Rashford's getting a bit older, but he is still a young guy.
He's like 26, 27.
Yeah, but giving those guys another year to get into their prime, and I think next year they'll be able to challenge. In 4th place, I've gone for my beloved Arsenal Football Club. We've spoken about Arsenal a lot on the podcast today and in previous episodes. Not much to say except for increased squad. Your Arsenal last season were the youngest team on average in the Premier League. So that means those young guys are getting better, getting that extra year of experience. Not much to say. I just think Arsenal 4th is a good spot to be.
Do you think Spurs will be 3rd then? I'm assuming.
You're assuming.
I think Spurs 4th.
Spurs 4th. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
I think Arsenal will be about.
So you think Arsenal 3rd? I've got Tottenham in 3rd. Now, although I longed for the day that we finish above Tottenham again, I think that Antonio Conte is a better manager than Arteta. You've got arguably a better squad. They've got so much depth in midfield now. Bentancur, Bissouma, Højbjerg, Skip. That's 4 quality Premier League midfielders. Up front,
Skip,
but that's still 3 quality central midfielders.
Skip.
Well, they've still got 3 great central midfielders. I'd say Højbjerg, Bissouma, and Bentancur are quality Premier League players.
I think you Arsenal fans are overly critical of Arteta. There was a huge Arteta out movement.
There was.
Start of the season.
To be fair, we did go 0-3 for the first 3.
No, I was disappointed. I would never shit. Okay, no, that's a lie. I would shit my manager if we were doing shit. But when Mourinho, at least with Mourinho, when we were trying to perform shit, we gave him more than 3 games after we won the league title.
Okay, yeah.
Before one team out.
Yeah.
Arteta's not a bad manager. He was under Pep, so clearly he must learn a thing or two.
And it does look like the club has progressed.
Arsenal fans have and always will be overly critical of their manager.
Yeah.
We saw with Wenger out. Mistake.
I think that's fair. No, I think Wenger out was fine.
I disagree. But
discussion for another time, alright?
Yeah. Okay. Second.
Okay, this is what the viewers are waiting for.
I've got Liverpool second.
I have got Liverpool as well second.
By how many points do you think though? We'll make it.
Okay. That's a very interesting one. I'll say City win the league by. Going off what I said earlier that Mo Salah will just keep them in it, I'm saying City will win the league by 6 points because Salah scores 32 goals in the Premier League this season. 32 goals.
Equaling his record.
I think he'll score a lot of goals. I think if he doesn't score that many goals, then it will be 10 points. But I think City win the league by 6 points, Salah scores 32 goals. And Mauricio Pochettino will be the Leicester manager before the end of the season. Those are my 3 takes. Or big ones. Right. How about you? How many points?
I was going to go 6 points as well, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to go City by 8 points.
Wow, yeah. I just think, although City lost that little bit of depth, they still have so much depth, Liverpool, you're worried. You have 3 quality centre-backs there. One of them goes down, Van Dijk, Matip's getting a little bit older.
Like we saw in 2021 season.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a bit of an extreme though, where they had 3 centre-backs go down. But here you've got 3 quality centre-backs. You're a little bit worried if they go down. That midfield is still quality, but
Hendo's getting old.
if Henderson gets injured, who replaces him there?
They have
Oxlade-Chamberlain?
Thiago, they can play Fabinho maybe.
Yeah, but I'm saying the midfield would probably be Henderson, Thiago,
Fabinho. Have
Fabinho.
to play two in the midfield then. That'd be very hard because
Exactly.
they're old players. Thiago's not 25 years old anymore at Barcelona.
And City are
Probably
just so
have a
good,
line.
and they've signed arguably the best young player in the world. Maybe Mbappe is probably better, but you could argue that.
With arguably the best manager in the world.
Yeah, it's. I just don't see City losing anytime soon.
I think of the matchup between City and Liverpool, I think City will win one
Yeah.
and the draw the other at
Okay.
Anfield.
Last season it was 2 draws, which is
I
actually.
think City will win one and Liverpool will
Okay.
draw with them.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too
It's
fussed
like an
about that.
89th minute equaliser at Anfield by Erling Haaland.
Okay, I think that would like create so much chaos. But yeah, so that's our table prediction. We will release the full table on the Instagram @teatime __ podcast.
Two underscores on podcast.
2 underscores on podcast. So make sure to follow. We've been quite active on the Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of a few of the reels I made. I'm
Yeah,
not
they
gonna lie.
were very sexy, I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you, brother.
I didn't get hard looking at them. At myself.
Yeah, so to finish off the episode,
And shout out to Toby Shah.
to finish off the episode, we thought we'll do quick tips.
Good tips.
So, quick tips?
Oh, okay.
No, quick tips.
Quick tips.
Now, we won't be able to, or not we won't be able to, we won't release a podcast every week, so we won't tip every single game on the podcast, but if there is a week where we don't have a podcast and we're tipping,
Yep.
we'll put it on the Instagram. And I reckon we'll keep track of our tips for the whole year, along with the table.
Yeah.
So, first game of the season.
Should we say 1 point for a correct guess? And then one for
So 1 point for correct guess, 3 points for exact score, 0 points for neither. And this has to be quick, so no thinking, no reasoning,
Yeah.
just quick off the bat. First game, Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Crystal Palace home. What's the score?
Arsenal 2-1 Arsenal.
Arsenal 3-0.
Bold.
Second game, Fulham, Liverpool, Fulham's home.
Liverpool 4-0.
Liverpool 3-1. Second game, Bournemouth, Aston Villa.
Villa 2-0.
I'll go
What's the game at?
I'll go Villa 2-1.
What's the game at?
Bournemouth.
Okay.
Newcastle, Nottingham Forest in Newcastle.
1-1.
I'll say 2-2. Tottenham, Southampton in North London.
3-1 Spurs.
I'll say 2-0 Spurs. Leeds United, Wolves in Leeds.
0-0.
I'll go 1-1.
I'm going 0-0.
1-1
I'm going 0-0. It's going to be a boring house game.
Everton, Chelsea in Everton. In Liverpool, sorry.
2-1 Chelsea.
I'll say 1-1.
Really? Drawing against Everton?
Yeah. Leicester, Brentford. Leicester's home ground.
That's a hard one, bro.
You gotta be quick, you gotta be quick.
I'm going 1-0 Leicester.
I'm going 2-0 Leicester. Oh, that is a bad call. No, I'll stick to it, right, whatever. United, Brighton in Manchester.
1-1.
I'm going 3-1 United. And to finish off, West Ham City in the Olympic Stadium. In the London. Oh, is it Olympic Stadium or London Stadium? London Stadium.
London Stadium.
In London Stadium.
3-0 City.
I'm going 2-1 City.
3-0 City.
Alright, and we'll put those up on the Instagram before and after the match week.
You want some nuts?
And I think on that note we'll finish it. We are so excited for the upcoming Premier League.
We are. We are.
For the audio listeners that have just fist bumped the air. We're so excited for the Premier League season. We can't wait. Lots of tea time.
Lots of tea, lots of time to watch the games.
Lots of tea, lots of time. We will catch you guys on the next episode.
And make sure to submit your hot takes or questions.
Yeah, make sure you follow the Instagram. Try to be
And
active.
drop a like if you love tips.
We'll see you guys next time on the Tibbs Show Fan Club.
Yes, we'll see you guys later.
Peace out.